Let's talk about some movies.
No.
Yes. We're doing this week.
We are doing this.
We got people with 600 subscribers that listen to us. The Cousin Show. The Cousin Show is actually awesome. Have you all listened to them?
No,
I have
not
not.
yet.
Yeah, they're like the only comment we've got. But I actually listen to their show and they're really good.
What nice guys.
Yeah, they do like
They talk to us and treat us like human beings.
they do like a lot of predictions of like what movies will like what movies do they predict will be successful, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They've covered a funny video on Neil Breen, which is hilarious. They do like that Capitol scene where all them like insurance people and real estate people shoot themselves and they react to it. It's hilarious.
I wonder if they think we're funny.
I don't think anybody thinks we're funny. But
I don't think we're funny. So
no, we suck.
Yeah, and Brian's the comedic genius here.
Yep. But they also done one on
Love me.
Unpopular. Be my friend. They done a funny video on what was it? On unpopular opinions.
Yeah.
Actually, one guy said, I think Star Wars is a little overrated. And I comment, like the first Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I comment, yeah, I think so too.
You talking about Star Wars 4?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that one's a little overrated.
Star Wars 4, the first one.
It should have been a Grindhouse movie.
What?
Yeah, well, I mean, it basically is in a way. Like, it has Grindhouse acting.
That could be fun.
Like, it'd been like a fun Grindhouse space adventure. Like, that'd been a lot of fun.
You don't see many of those.
No?
At least I haven't.
Machete kills in space.
That sounds like a legit movie, though.
No, it was going to be made.
For real?
Yes, it was going to be made, but apparently Machete Kills didn't do well enough. So...
Damn it, we could
I
have
know,
made gold!
we could have had Machete Kills.
Man,
in space.
me and Tyler were watching a movie today.
Oh my
called
God.
Sharktopus versus Werewolf.
This movie's awesome. I gave it a review on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I said best art house film ever made, and I commented this movie really makes you think so much about the human experience or some nonsense.
It does. You see, I don't think people look deep enough into those movies. You see, they look at him and they think, oh, it's just a sharktopus, a shark and octopus mixed together, hybrid, mind you, versus fighting a werewolf, which is a orca whale mixed with... I don't understand how they got a wolf out of it, because they mixed it with a Dominican baseball player.
Really? Yeah, okay. Is this real?
Yeah, okay. So like the sexy nurse lady, wife lady, she like goes, I'm going to resurrect you and I'm going to make you something great again. And like she starts electrocuting him and he's like, more, and she's like, no. She's like Consuelo off Family Guy. She's like, no. He's like, yes, no, yes. And then she shocks him. He turns like this big CGI werewolf octopus thingy.
No. First, a big black hole appears in his chest. She's like, you could have been special had you lived. Yeah. And she's doing it in this like exaggerated German, like, you could have lived. You could have been special.
She said it like that girl with L.A. Noire.
And she goes and drags his body in the middle of the day, mind you. This is in the middle of like afternoon traffic. People are out having lunch, like saying, "Oh, I wonder why she's putting that body there."
Which the way this town reacts to anything, I believe that's just like a normal occurrence to them.
That is
like they have a shark running in the streets, and like the background, you can see people just like, oh yeah.
There was one scene that stuck out to me at the dock.
Oh my God!
This dude is sitting there, chopping up some calamari to cook. He's serving food to the public, being a good tax-paying citizen.
Yeah.
And then, out of nowhere, a sharktopus jumps up on the deck and starts eating people left and right. And he looks up and goes, huh! And then keeps going on at his calamari. And it shows him. He looks at it and goes,
I have to see this.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I have to see this.
One of the greatest movies I've ever watched. I'm so happy I clicked on it.
There's actually one funny, like, clever part in it I thought was funny. They had like this really hot woman in like a nurse outfit. She was like really sexy. You know how like movies have like that slow walk with the hot girl?
Yeah.
Well, like this movie, it actually done something clever with that. Where she's walking, sexy, boobs are jiggling, whatever, how directors like to shoot women in movies or whatever. And then she like face plants into like a plant. Like that was actually kind of clever. I was like, okay, that's kind of genius because movies overdo that, and that was funny.
What was the part that I absolutely cracked up at near the end of the movie? It was the most the two black dudes that sit in the front.
Oh yeah.
The dude gets a call from this chick, and she's in this like science clinic fighting off the werewolf.
Yeah, the werewolf.
And she gets a call. She goes, "I'm in a clinic. I need you to come to me right now." To her boyfriend. Her boyfriend goes, "Are you pregnant?" And these two people that are supposed to be like carting them as though they were prisoners stop the van turn around and like, oh God, is she pregnant?
Yeah.
And then he goes, false alarm, guys, she ain't pregnant.
And they're like, oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God for you. I'm so happy for you. That's the best part of the movie.
And I'm so mad when they died.
But they die in a very nice way, though. It's pretty interesting.
Don't they die by like the fin of
Well,
like the
way I see it,
the werewolf?
The werewolf twerks on them. The
Yeah, that's
werewolf
what it was.
Twerks on them.
Yeah.
He just turns around and shakes that booty up.
Yep.
Boom, like right there.
There's also this awesome part where the werewolf starts punching the sharktopus.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Sharktopus,
awesome.
yeah.
It was like Batman vs Superman, but more epic.
Yes, right. Hey, this movie has given me more entertainment than Marvel has in 15 years.
I had a great time watching it. I remember there was one part where like the shark burps, and Jacob went F it, and just reached into his fridge and got a big shot and just downed it. He's like, this is nonsense. We also tried to watch one movie before that. That was absolutely unwatchable. It was I suggested this one because I just saw the trailer for it yesterday. Paranormal Farm 3.
We watched it for like 20 minutes and then just gave up.
We were like, this is terrible. There's one funny part in it, and it's really early on. They blow their load really early on. So, like, these two characters are like ghost hunters, and they walk into this house, and, like, these mannequins are choking these old people. And they don't have any sound equipment at all, so, like, you can't really understand what the characters are saying. And that old lady's like, oh my God, I'm dying. And then, like, the guy runs upstairs and a mannequin choking the guy.
They go upstairs and like, are you alive? Holy shit! Holy shit!
Me and Jacobs had a very productive day watching garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun, and we thought we had struck gold with this Paranormal Farm 3.
And then it was, well, I will say the basement scene was kind of funny.
The basement's...
Like, that was...
Are you talking about up in the attic of the barn?
Yeah, that's what it was. Like, they walk... not the basement, the attic. Whatever. Who cares?
Well, the light bulb.
They had a light bulb swinging back and forth, and like, oh, holy bollocks, that light was not swinging like that 30 minutes ago. And they keep the camera on the light, and you can see it just slowly stop because of momentum. And then you see like this guy like in a black hoodie run out from behind. He's like, roar! And they're like, oh, he was hairy bollocks. And they're like, he jumped down the stairwell and went down to the bushes. Oh, gollocks! And then it cuts to them in the hot tub, and they're like, they act like nothing just happened.
It's almost like you're watching a gay porn at that point.
Yeah, yeah. Like, it's so weird.
And they want you to make you. They want to make you think you are too, because they are saying the most like innuendo stuff.
Yes,
and then they bring the old lady in too.
They bring an old lady in there, and the guy's like, "Oh dear,
sex sells.
Sex sells. You could be like a Bond villain." I think that's the point where me and Jake went, "Oh hell, this movie this is terrible."
It was right after the part where they see a shadow behind him, and he's like, "Okay." He jumps out, and a shadow starts fighting him. And then the shadow disappears. The guy runs out, and the dude's just covered in blood, going, get him, get him,
And this movie looks like it was like filmed on a phone. Like it's
oh wow.
Yeah, it's so unbelievably bad. I cannot stress how bad it is.
It is great.
Yeah,
well,
it was shit.
Yeah,
it was no.
I'd rather watch a Neil Breen movie.
Yeah. I mean, at least Neil Breen knows how to keep a camera steady. He uses sound equipment.
I've not found a Neil Breen movie I would watch over Sharktopus.
I love Neil Breen. Faithful Findings is a masterpiece.
Yeah, but Sharktopus versus Werewolf.
It's great too. It's a great film.
It's too interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I reviewed it as one of the greatest art house films ever made.
That's
so.
true. A24.
A24. Sharktopus and Octopus, whatever the name of it is.
Sharktopus versus Werewolf. You degenerate scum.
Scored by Hans Zimmer. But I figure we get into our topics.
Okay.
Alrighty. My first topic is, what is good cinematography to you?
Good cinematography?
Yeah, like, how do you view cinematography? Because I know a lot of people have different perceptions of what cinematography is. Like, do they view it as interesting camera angles, colors in film, or what it says about the characters, or whatnot? How do you feel about cinema?
All of the above, according to what movie I'm watching. I mean, it depends on the scope of the movie. If it's a character study, it's going to be
very intimate.
It's going to be like how the camera angles reflect the character's attitude and personality throughout the film, and how it changes accordingly.
Like there will be blood in Joker and films like that.
Yeah.
They like There Will Be Blood uses the camera to like show the scope of the land, to show like what Daniel's trying to take over. Joker uses stairs and things like that. So
Well, it's all about visual storytelling to me, and Joker is the best example I have right now, where it's constantly showing.
I think There Will Be Blood's way better.
Really?
Well,
There Will Be Blood's one of the best looking films I've ever seen.
it
in my
is.
life.
It is. But I
It's
guess
a masterpiece.
with the visual storytelling, what I mean is like Joker, or Arthur, constantly climbing up steps. It's showing just him
Jogging along in life.
and just struggling this uphill battle. And then it's showing the famous dance scene, and it's pretty significant in the case of he's given up the battle, and now he's just going down.
Yeah.
And he's dancing while he's doing it.
Films like There Will Be Blood have great cinematography. Films like Blade Runner have great cinematography,
Yes.
but very different.
Yes.
Blade Runner cinematography is more like world building, I feel like.
Yeah.
To where it tells like this dystopian future, which there's a film we're going to talk about here in a minute that has
I want to talk about this.
Okay, yeah, you started off. It's a masterpiece. It is. Jake's pick was one of the best. It was the best pick of the week, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's your first. Brian's had like two. I feel like In the Tall Grass was the best pick of that week. I felt like you finally got yours, Stalker. Stalker is a masterpiece. I will agree. But
11 out of 10.
yeah, I would agree.
Better than Joker.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah.
But great cinematography, I guess, is determined on the film. I just didn't know if y'all had a different perspective on it or not.
With me, it's all about just visual storytelling. It's all about just showing not through words, but through action and through backgrounds and through maybe small details on what the character is going through first.
Yeah.
And then constantly having a progression as the film goes on.
Like, I love the scene in Blade Runner whenever it's a little on the nose, but still great visual storytelling with the android robot on the big screen thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and it shows like I can be anything you want or whatever.
Yes.
And it's like very seductive, and it's basically how people are manipulated by consumerism, and it's just very interesting. It's great. So I would agree with you.
I agree with you while I chug down my Coca-Cola.
Yeah, sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Yeah, and Budweiser. And
Drink fresh
and water
or something.
Yeah.
Food Club.
Yeah.
Some random bullshit.
Yeah. Speaking of Joker, I guess. DC has a great plan for the future of Joker. They've really thought this through, and they really understand why people really like the film.
Yeah.
Because people didn't really like the film because it was an interesting character study about a guy, and it has something to say about society. No, they like it because it has Joker in it, and they want to see Batman punch him. So what DC is planning to do is make it Joker franchise.
This is a great idea.
And apparently if they can't get Joaquin Phoenix back, they're just going to like cast another actor and be like, oh, Joaquin Phoenix starred as the Joker. It's like, no!
This is a bad idea.
Yeah. I brought this up because I remember Brian, after watching Joker, said this to me. He said, I remember this. He said, I believe this movie will lead to bigger and better things. Dun, dun, dun. You had to admit, this is a horrible idea.
I've said multiple times saying DC can pull off a few good moves and like make an absolute masterpiece, but the payoff for that, it's sort of like selling your soul to the devil.
Yeah.
You got to take about a 15 year of putting out nothing but absolute
Garbage
and shit.
I've noticed this with DC. Like, they'll like hand directors total control over a film. They'll be like, okay, so our last movie flopped, Batman and Robin. So we need a really creative director to come in, like with this vision. Had they hire Christopher Nolan? All right, do whatever you want. And it's a huge success. And they're like, oh, well, we're Warner Bros. We can do no wrong. And Christopher Nolan helps produce the Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, so they don't really get interrupted that much. Now, granted, depending on how you feel about them movies, that's up to you, but they are their own films in a lot of ways. Batman vs. Superman has some studio intervention, but at the end of the day, it's a Zack Snyder movie. But Suicide Squad, that's where they got brave. That's what they're like, let's tear the film apart and let's destroy it. Let's make it our own. And now it feels like they're trying to do this with Joker again. I can't wait. I'm excited. I hope it's a piece of crap.
I do too.
I mean, they're going to absolute create a disaster.
Unless they get who's
Todd Phillips to direct it.
Daddy
Joaquin.
Phillips. They have to get Daddy Phillips.
And Joaquin.
Bubby Phoenix.
Well, they can if they make a good movie. Another director can come in and make something but it makes something out of it. I'm not wholly against other people being tied to it as long as it's good.
But what's the interest with it on the standpoint? We've already seen Joker and Batman fight 100 times.
Yes, and then that is where I do agree.
What's The Dark Knight?
Yeah.
Why not we make a Scarecrow movie and it just be a character study about Scarecrow? That'd be interesting.
Yep.
Instead, we got to have this is solely based on money. DC just wants to make a bunch of money.
I'm alright with Punchy Punch movies.
I am too, but I don't see the point in doing it with this.
Yeah.
No, I don't either.
Like, this is dumb. Like,
there were plenty of other movies.
Pick a Punchy Punch character.
And do the punchy punch things.
Yeah.
And punchy punch can be cool.
Yeah.
But don't pick a movie that won the Venice Film Festival and make a big franchise out of it. That's hilarious.
The Golden Lion.
Yeah, it's like taking Parasite and they're like, all right, yeah, let's make a franchise on Parasite.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, it'd be really cool.
Hey, you know that movie The Lighthouse? Let's make a franchise out of it.
Yeah.
We'll do a tie-in. The Lighthouse versus Midsummer. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But I find this to be just hilarious and really a stupid idea.
Right, because we were talking about like all the possibilities of what they could do.
Yeah,
I remember
every idea we had was more interesting than what they're doing right now.
because we were on a car trip. And we were thinking like all the directors that would be tied to it and everything. Like we wanted like a Green Lantern movie with Jon Stewart starring Idris Elba.
Yeah,
like, that would be great. You know, or like we want like a Slade Wilson movie. You know,
like have it back in his time in the military.
Yeah, starring
like
Tom Hardy and make it just violent and gory and gritty.
Have Mel Gibson direct it.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding about that.
I love Mel Gibson.
Yeah, or have Christopher Nolan because of Dunkirk.
Yeah.
You could have David
Lynch.
David Lynch direct Scarecrow. I mean,
would be that you'd see some stuff.
Yeah, you'd see some stuff, and it would be an interesting film. David Lynch is a great filmmaker. Let filmmakers. That's the way you're going to compete with Disney. You're not going to compete with Disney doing what they do. You're not, because you don't have the same structure as they do.
Right.
So do your own thing. That's what Joker proved. Hey, DC, do your own thing. People are very interested in this market, so take advantage of that. Tap into that market and do that.
Hire us.
Yeah, make interesting character studies. Like we talked about Martin Scorsese. It'd be interesting for Martin Scorsese to do like a movie on the Falcones.
It would be.
Like the Falcones, like the mob.
Yeah.
I'd go watch that.
I didn't know. It'd be even better if it also stars like a young James Gordon.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have it be like a mob movie, like The Departed or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
What was another one? Like we talked about, like crap. The name of this director's eluding me. I can't remember, but
What's
I think
made?
The guy that made the Hellboy movies and
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, Guillermo del Toro. We talked about like he could come in and make him a DC movie.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
I can't remember what character we'd want him to do. What we talked about, but we talked about him.
Weirdly enough, Guillermo del Toro, after watching In the Shape of Water, I'd have him do a Mr. Freeze movie.
That would actually work.
Yeah,
I could actually see that. Yeah,
I could see that working. And he also made Crimson Peak, which is a very emotional, romantic film in a lot of ways, but also disturbing.
Yeah.
So,
I still haven't seen that. I still got to see it.
It's very good.
I've heard it's good.
A lot of people hated it, but I really enjoyed it. It was awesome.
I still got to watch that.
I'm a sucker for Guillermo del Toro, though. So I like that movie where he just has robots punch each other for 2 hours.
Yeah, and he could do a movie like that with DC.
Sure. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Have robots punch each other for 2 hours.
He is
literally your favorite Guillermo del Toro movie, Alita Battle Angel.
He didn't direct that.
No, that wasn't.
That was Robert Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah.
Someone else I would like to see.
I'd like to see Robert Rodriguez.
There's so many great directors out there.
Quentin Tarantino. But no, we got to do Joker franchise. Got to make 10 of these because it made $1 billion. And funny thing about Joker is DC didn't even believe in it. You know they didn't get all that $1 billion, Warner Bros. Didn't? They didn't believe. They thought the movie was crap. So they sold off half of the distribution rights to another company. That's why at the beginning of the movie you see like Vatra Studios or something weird like that. At the beginning,
so they didn't even get the money.
They got $500 million, I think, from it, and the other studio split the other half of it. So they blew it big time. They thought it was a piece of crap.
These idiots.
And this other studio was like, "This is brilliant." And yeah, it's going to make its budget back just on name alone. Even if it's a terrible movie, it costs $55 million to make. It's called Joker. It's going to make $100 million in the first week.
It's literally one of the most famous...
iconic character. I didn't think it would make $1 billion.
After I watched it the first time, I said that movie will make $1 billion.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we went outside to look at the box office that first night. We're like, $200 million? One night? This is insane.
This is before I ever looked at the box office.
Yeah, but
stop trying to undermine me.
No, I thought no, we looked at it right after we left.
It's called a joke.
No, you're like Arthur. Your jokes aren't funny. No one laughs at you.
You get what you fucking deserve.
But my last topic, I guess, was what's the hardest video game y'all have ever played? I really chose this topic for Jake because I knew he'd name off some PC gaming asshole thing. Oh, I play the PC game. You console peasants. I'm very important. What's the hardest
If
game?
you want a boring answer that is honest, I can give you one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want the honest answer.
Gary Grigsby's War in the East.
Oh my god.
I've never heard of this.
What is this?
It is it's a World War II simulator.
Do you get to punch people?
No. You get to watch tanks get stuck in mud and then get blown up by your enemy.
But there was the punching stuff and the fire.
You get explosions and fire. Stuck in mud, though.
No.
That's my honest answer. I played it for like 6 hours. Couldn't figure out what to do. Deleted the game. Never played it again.
Wow.
That was the hardest game I ever played.
I figured you'd say Dark Souls.
Dark Souls ain't that hard.
All right.
Anyone that plays it for more than 3 hours will realize that.
Yeah, Dark Souls is for easy people.
No,
Just,
I mean, it ain't
you know what? You know he's like that meme. Get good.
It ain't an easy game.
Get good.
But it ain't a hard one.
Get good.
I would have to say probably the hardest game I've ever played and completed all the way through would probably be Jack 2.
That is a hard one.
From the Jack and Daxter games.
Yeah.
Love that game. It's a great game, but that's probably one of the hardest ones. Mainly because of a lot of the game is kind of bullcrap. It kind of is, but I still enjoy it. A great game. I recommend it if you haven't played it.
What about you, Tyler?
Cuphead.
That is an insanely hard game.
Cuphead is ridiculous.
It's harder than Dark Souls.
I've heard that. I've never really played Dark Souls that much, but I played it for like an hour and was like, this is horrible. But Cuphead was pretty challenging.
Yeah.
The only reason it got me through Cuphead was like the art design.
Art design.
Oh,
sound
yeah.
design.
God, yes.
Yeah. I didn't really like dying every 15 seconds, but the art design kept me engaged.
Yeah.
So.
I want to see what the next phase looks like.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. I mean, you want to see what creative way they've come up with doing the next animation. So, but Cuphead was ridiculously hard. I died over and over and over and over and over. We'll go on to your topic, Jake. All the topics you got today.
Well,
Bestow me with some knowledge. Give it to me, baby. Sock me.
Inject that shit right in my vein.
Sock me with
Yeah.
knowledge.
All right. Don't worry. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to destroy you with facts and logic. Here we
Okay.
go. So, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, you go right ahead.
That sounded sarcastic. Though.
I'm very interested. I like hearing the word of the Jacob.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll take you at face value.
You should.
All right.
I'm a very serious man.
I can feel his honesty
Yeah.
leaking into my very essence. Anyway,
Wake me up! Wake me
up inside, can't wake up, wake me. All right.
I really want to know what Jacob's topic is.
I do too.
The suspense is riveting, isn't it?
It is.
So my question, more so, where is too far for critics?
Be a little more specific.
Well, in your own head, how far is it that critics can go before it's like, look, you don't know what you're talking about?
Or you're just criticizing a movie too much or something like that.
Yeah. You're giving it such a bad review and there's no reason for it, or you're giving it an amazing review but you've said all this, that, and the other. I'm just wanting to know.
I have an
what's
answer.
Too far.
I do have an answer for this. I think criticism goes too far whenever you start to say things like,
I would have done this.
I would have done this, or things like that. Because, we do that, but, like, I think there has to be, like, a loving way you approach film. A lot of critics, they go, oh, this film bored me, and it did not satisfy my needs, or whatever. It's like, well, maybe it wasn't made for you. Like, break down actually what you felt was wrong about the film, and not just talk about how you had a hard time sitting through it, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or talk
Begotten.
like you're acting like this movie is like the end of the world. Like, it's fine. It's just a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the only time I've ever blown up about a movie is Justice League, and I can still just laugh at that movie.
Right.
Like, it's almost like a example of what film can be if it fails.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good example for people that love film to watch. It's a piece of shit in my mind, but You know, if someone loves it, fine.
Well, you have to think of this, like what you think is and I've said this before on this podcast, is what you think is the worst movie ever made. It's somebody's favorite.
Yeah.
That's
Like
just
Bye Bye Man.
Yeah. Somebody out there loves the Bye Bye Man.
Yeah, they do. They do.
I've accepted that.
Yeah. And you know what?
I can take that.
And they probably had a great time watching it.
And good for them.
And you know, well, I mean, you know what I was thinking? Whenever you said that, I was thinking, you know, whenever I was younger, about 13, I would have loved the Bye Bye Man.
Right.
Because I was a dumb kid. And like horror movies, I can still watch just shitty horror movies. But the Bye Bye Man would have been my jam. It's just this terrible movie where nothing worked, but you had a hot girl in it. I'd be like, okay, I like that.
Right.
And, you know, for
and a
some
high-screeching
kid.
violin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they do have the violin. It's awesome. But, yeah, I mean, it could be someone's favorite.
Because I full on admit, 4 or 5 years ago, I put way too much stock in critics. Mm-hmm. Like, I would actually sometimes watch YouTube reviewers, which technically aren't paid critics, but still, I think it still counts. I would actually
any critic, like, we count. Like, we're idiots and we count.
But I would put way too much stock in like watching a review and just say, okay, that's what I think of the movie. Then that's how I was. I try not to be like that anymore. Sometimes habits break. Now there are just some movies that you hear about and you're being like, okay, yeah, that's garbage.
Well, yeah, like the Minions or something.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you hear about Minions, you're like, I don't want to go watch that.
Yeah.
Well, I actually I relied on critics when it came to watching Ralph Breaks the Internet. Mm-hmm. I'd heard it was very bad. Or not even really bad, just it was a soulless movie.
Yeah.
So I was like, the very first movie had a lot of heart to it, a beautiful story, great characters. I don't want to ruin that.
I can understand that. I would say find a critic you really like, and you don't always have to agree with that
Impossible.
critic.
Critics don't have souls.
Well, I like like a critic I really like is Ralph the Movie Maker, but I don't always agree with him.
Yeah.
Or like I like YMS, but I don't always agree with him. Or I hate everything. I don't always agree with him.
Right.
So you can find critics or that cousin show. They are awesome. Y'all should give them a listen. But
you know, there's one critic I absolutely hate.
Who?
Roger Ebert.
I mean, he's fine. His opinion on video games was kind of dumb.
I didn't agree.
Where he's like, video games ain't art.
I've not found a single thing I've ever agreed with him on. And I think that his reasons are kind of bullshit. So.
His reasons on Friday 13th were really stupid.
Yeah.
He's like, it's violent. It's bloody and violent. Okay. What do you expect?
Roger Ebert feels like the aristocratic critic.
Yeah. I think he's overrated. I think people act like Roger Ebert's like the greatest human being to ever live. I'm like, he's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine. I mean, he pioneered film criticism in a lot of ways, where he popularized it, so he deserves credit for that. But as for like his opinions on films, I don't really personally connect with him.
Yeah. And you don't have to like form your whole opinion about a person based on what their opinions are when it comes to
sure he's
the
a great
movies.
guy.
Yeah.
I never said he was a bad guy. I just don't.
I'm just saying.
I don't see him as a viable
critic to in your eyes. Yeah, I understand that.
But
I wouldn't hire him.
IGN's really dumb.
Dear Kotaku, which they're defunct now, thankfully. That website was hot garbage.
Yeah.
But I guess when it comes with me, like I mean, again, like most pieces of work that are made by human beings, whether or not you love or hate it is completely subjective.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you know, like
if you hate it so bad, go do something.
Yeah, a person that like a person that loves one movie, another person's gonna hate it, and vice versa. Yeah. Like I mean, like, and there are like plenty of movies that I thought I hated just because I was supposed to. And I would go and actually watch the movie and be like, this ain't that bad. Yeah. There have been plenty of movies like that. And apparently, I found out last week, and I was surprised by it. A lot of critics hated the Trinity movies.
Yeah, that's weird. And I really enjoyed them.
And I enjoy those movies. But yeah, and there are some movies that, you hear somebody talk about it and be like, okay, yeah, that sounds like hot garbage. I'm never watching that.
Well, you'll hear critics say something about a movie. You're like, okay, that's something I obviously don't see. Like, I don't like in movies. So. Yeah. Yeah, I have no interest in going to see that. Like, I have no interest in going to go see Minions or the Emoji Movie or something like that.
I haven't found a YouTube critic that I like.
I like Ralph the Movie Maker.
I like him, but
I'm currently watching the Double Toasted guys, and I love
Double Toasted's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give a watch to this cousin show that you keep recommending to me.
This ain't because they just call me on our video. Like they are actually really cool.
If I like them, I'm gonna talk good about them, and if I don't like them, I'm going to come on here, and I'm going to wreck their world. We're going to be like Monday Night Raw on them.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever.
Hell in a Cell.
I really enjoyed them.
Hell in a Cell.
Okay.
I thought they were really
Yeah,
fun.
another
Hell in a
topic,
Cell.
Jake?
No, can't think of one.
Yeah.
Oh, you can? Okay, this is less of a topic and more of just a fun little thing that I love doing. Think of a really bad movie that you hate. Any bad movie that you hate. And think of a way you would fix it. Like maybe recast it, hire a new director, put it under a different company, whatever you think would work. And go.
Let's see here. Nightmare on Elm Street remake, directed by David Lynch.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep the same actor, Jackie Earle Haley. He was fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't his fault. The movie was absolute dumpster fire.
No.
And keep the same actor. She was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just change the director and writer and hire freaking David Lynch.
Yeah, I've actually constantly stated ever since I've seen that movie, and yeah, when I first watched it, I thought it was garbage.
Oh, it's a piece of shit.
Yeah, it is. It's probably the worst horror film I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
it's up there. Like I would watch Bye Bye Man over it.
Yeah,
if that tells you anything.
Bye Bye Man has like some really funny parts to it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I have constantly said that one interesting plot element that stuck with me that would have been interesting if they would have gone with, that I would have liked, would have been if Freddy Krueger was innocent.
Yeah, which
If you-
ain't that what the original movies implied?
No, the original
No,
movie.
he was a monster.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a monster in the original
Okay,
movies.
I couldn't remember the original movies too well.
Yeah.
I remember Nightmare on Elm Street, the third one I think, where it's like
Dream
almost-
Warriors.
Yeah, that one was really good.
Yeah.
The storybook one, Wes Craven's Nightmare.
Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
That was my favorite one.
That probably is my favorite one too. It's either that one or Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
But Jake,
Movies I hate never stand out in my head, and I really can't think of a single one. I'm trying to, and I can't think of a movie that I just outwardly hate.
Well,
I really can't.
okay.
I'm trying my best to.
you hated Marriage Story.
I did hate Marriage Story.
Yeah,
But that's just that's not the movie itself's fault.
it's just not your
that's
thing.
that's the genre.
Change
The genre to action World War II, and boom, Marriage Story would have been perfect.
Have the guy who directs Grown Ups direct Marriage Story.
Yeah, there we go.
That'd been awesome.
How about this? How about this? Change the director from The Notebook to Andrei Tarkovsky.
Yeah,
That'd have been interesting,
that
wouldn't
would
it?
have been insane.
Yeah, everyone in the Notebook's just like, you know what? I
Yeah.
really hope we don't die in a nuclear
Which
holocaust.
I will say it would have been kind of hard seeing that he was kind of dead at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like the Eastern mindset,
Yeah.
like Eastern European, like where it's like to where they were entrenched in communism, so their entire mindset's like, God, I hope I don't die, and God, this world sucks. So like the desperation in their movies seems so much more authentic.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge reason why.
No, Notebook is more authentic. We're like,
Well, could you imagine
They
desperation?
kiss in the rain and I hate that movie.
Could you imagine Eastern Bloc mentality in the Notebook?
It would have been something else. The Notebook. A continuation of Ivan's childhood. Him as an adult. What's yours?
I'll be honest. Whenever I said this, the first movie that came to mind, I have no idea why, because I was thinking about what movie I was going to pick, and whenever I came up with this idea, I can't get this movie out of my mind. Catwoman.
That movie's perfect.
Movie's already
That's
great.
got hot woman in it. I like that movie.
That got Halle Berry. She purdy.
Halle Berry gets into spandex. How could you not like it?
But
It's like all great art. You just watch it in silence.
now apparently
One constant noise.
I'm breaking all the.
Oh,
I'd just like to point out that I'm breaking all affiliation with these two gentlemen. But anyway,
what would make Catwoman better?
well, I do know that apparently there is a whole backstory to this movie. Like there is apparently
What was that director's first movie? Apparently,
Really?
Yeah, he had like one name. It was like Ilm or something like that. His name was like Ilm.
Wow. Okay.
Like he didn't have a last name or middle name. It was like Ilm.
That's kind of gay.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest name ever.
But anyway, because Tim Burton was originally supposed to be signed on to direct a Catwoman spinoff. I'm pretty sure. I think that was the original plan. Mm-hmm. So I would have kept with that. I would have kept it like a Tim Burton film, but only if it was going to be 80s and 90s Burton.
Yeah. Early 2000s Burton's horrible.
You could argue it still is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he hasn't got any better. I'm just saying that's where it started.
Yeah, where he started doing
crap.
Yeah, crap. But yeah, if it was going to be still 80s, 90s Burton.
Where he's a crazy man.
Where he just does whatever the heck he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Holds the studio hostage and makes like a bunch of crazy shit.
Yeah. Oh, like the Sleepy Hollow film.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I like Ed Wood. That's my favorite movie.
Actually, I still haven't seen that one.
That's my favorite
I've
movie.
heard it's great.
It's awesome. It is hilarious.
All right. Yeah, I would have kept Tim Burton instead of like Halle Berry. Like maybe
keep Michelle Pfeiffer.
I would have kept Michelle Pfeiffer. It would have had to have come out probably if it's going to be Burton 80s, 90s. It had to come out like 7 years earlier.
Well, when did Batman Returns come out? It came out in 92, right?
Yes.
So
if it came out in
94?
94, 95, 96, somewhere around there, though.
No, we gotta do Batman Forever.
Yeah.
That's the best movie ever.
Oh my god, it's so good. And then Batman and Robin.
Yep.
Yeah.
But and if it would have been like that same wacky Burton style from the 90s with Michelle Pfeiffer and just have at it, just go nuts. I don't want it. I want it to go even more nuts than Batman Returns, and that would have been my Catwoman movie.
Do y'all remember that scene in Catwoman where she goes and orders a milk at a bar?
Yes.
That was funny.
Yes.
That was funny.
Have you noticed this trend too in like the early shitty 2000s superhero movies? Like Daredevil and Catwoman both did this, where like they like there's like flirtation on a playground with a bunch of kids around.
Do you remember that scene in Daredevil where the blind man fights a woman
in front of children?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens
scene?
in Catwoman where they play basketball.
Yeah.
Catwoman and this cop guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like shot really weird, like a music video from the early 2000s.
Do you remember that scene in Catwoman? I can keep going. This movie's terrible.
It is awful.
But by God, it's fun to watch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know a way to make it better.
Yeah.
Less spandex.
Less spandex.
Christ, you guys. But
Have her wear a winter coat.
Big Siberian coat.
Wear sweatpants.
She goes walking in a giant bear fur coat.
It's
Like,
like, meow.
no, she comes in. She goes,
I got a movie for you, Jake.
"What?
That you should try. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah. Hey, it has fur coats in it, like our suggestion with Catwoman.
You know I've watched that movie, right?
It's
You
a great
have.
movie. It's the best movie.
We watched it at the movie theater together. You idiot!
Yeah, I know. But what I'm telling you is, I'm not saying what would you change about it?
Oh,
I'm sure he's just going to say everything.
Let's start
just
with
pull
this.
out like
A big list.
like a town
Slap it on the
squire,
table.
like the town squire. Well, here we go.
So,
what
Night Shyamalan gone. Take all the white people that were cast as Asian people gone.
But anyway, let's start with this. What director would you give to it? Who would you want to see?
Night Shyamalan.
He is good at pulling twists.
He made Unbreakable.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He's great at superheroes. And you know what? I see a few young and up and coming small name actors. Mm-hmm. We should just hire all of them. Just toss them in there.
Yeah.
They might
Wide.
Yeah.
Have to be wide.
I mean,
Yeah.
that goes without saying.
Yeah,
This
of
is
course.
racist Hollywood, as we all
Yeah.
know.
That's what Hollywood does.
Yeah.
Oh,
And Night
God.
Shyamalan's very racist. That dumb Indian casting out the white man.
Oh my God, Jake! Stop!
That movie is terrible.
It is.
It is a piece of shit.
By the way, I don't think M. Night Shyamalan's a dumb Indian. He's a great director. And
He loves-
yada, yada, yada.
He loves the Sham Hammer except for that one movie.
I'm trying to think of a director that I would change.
I'm actually trying to think
Christopher Nolan.
to do a Last Airbender movie.
It'd be the darkest movie ever.
Hey, that series is dark.
That series did get dark, but
Have,
Give it to him.
Have Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it'd be like There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
That'd be very
Yeah, I doubt
interesting.
that,
Or The
but,
Master. Quentin Tarantino.
There's so much blood.
Oh, God.
I tell you what, no, I give it
That
to
would be
Children
perfect.
burning alive.
no, I tell you what, I give it to Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro would be a great choice.
That would actually work.
Yes.
I would have totally gone with that.
Who directed Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Was that Guillermo del Toro?
That was Robert
That was
Rodriguez.
Robert Rodriguez.
Robert Rodriguez.
But he made also Lead a Battle Angel.
Give it to Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Shark Boy.
He did make Machete.
Shark Boy Lava Girl was great.
I think it's a piece of shit.
As we
It
all
wasn't.
know. As we all know,
It
Shark
wasn't.
Boy Lava Girl 3D is the greatest.
You do like Machete, don't you?
I will say this. I do know that you hate this movie, but I actually do like Spy Kids. I know you hate that movie.
Spy Kids is awesome.
I think it's a piece of shit.
I love all three of them. The third one because it's just awful.
I didn't like it.
But,
Not for me.
Oh yeah.
And the third one, the guy.
But I think a lot of it is just the fact that I watched it as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of the first movies that is kind of etched in my memory.
Yeah, I can understand because I still like the Grinch.
Wait.
Really?
Yeah, I like the Grinch. Like, you got. Oh, really? You like Spy Kids? Like, my opinion matters because you like this movie with Jim Carrey. Oh, I like Spy Kids with these two annoying brats in it. My opinion's valued over yours.
Give
I'm
Avatar: The Last
sorry.
Airbender to Mel Gibson.
No.
Yes.
No.
Give it to Mel Gibson.
He ain't gonna cast anybody of color.
Jesus
That'd be a
Christ.
disaster.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
That'd be a disaster.
You can cast white people to do it.
Oh yeah.
You can cast.
Shyamalan showed how good that worked.
No, that wasn't
What
just.
was it, seven?
If you say that movie was bad because of the color of someone's skin,
No,
then you're
no.
racist.
No. No, I'm just saying.
No, it's wrong because of a whole lot of other reasons.
No. I mean, that's just one of the elements
I would
that
also
was wrong.
I would say it would be better if you did cast because the Four Nations they represent what is it? Is it the nomadic tribes of or not tribes but nomadic people of
I don't know enough about this show to get into
Tibet?
it in depth.
Tibet. You got the Chinese, the Japanese.
It's mainly like
and
Asian.
Inuit. But good luck getting a freaking Inuit actor. Eskimos, dude. How you gonna get an Inuit actor?
I mean, there's plenty.
I'm sure there's.
Wait, there's
I'm
an
sure-
Inuit. There's an Inuit actor.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm
I've never
sure.
seen one.
I'm sure.
Jake.
I've never seen one,
I'm
but
sure. Well, I mean, watch more foreign films.
the Inuit are from northern Alaska.
Well, I don't know.
1 minute. I'm actually curious.
Oh my
about
god,
that.
this is so stupid.
I tell you what,
curious about
while he's doing
this.
this, let's go ahead and go to our movies that we were
Yeah, go
talking
ahead.
about.
I'm looking into something.
Kung Fu Hustle. You want to start with that?
Sure.
Because we all have seen that. And
This is my
Amazing.
pick.
I want you to start, Brian.
I really love this movie.
What do you love about it?
Pretty much everything. The fight scenes, the humor, I love the score, even though you didn't.
I wasn't a fan of it personally.
I love the directing style of it. I think it has a pretty cool directing style to it. I love the fact that there is like this giant character arc of like this slimy, cowardly piece of crap thug that becomes an honorable warrior at the end of it, and it kind of comes out of nowhere.
I would say for me, I like the choreography of just how over zany and silly and stupid every fight scene
absolutely.
was. Like, I love that, but as for cinematography, I didn't love it.
Oh, okay.
But as for, like, the choreography of things, I really enjoyed that. I thought the score was fine. I thought it existed. The script's hilarious.
Yeah, the script is hilarious.
The script is genius. Who directed this film?
I'm actually not
Look
sure.
that up for us there, researcher.
Okay, I did find an Inuit actor.
You did?
Johnny Esselink.
Okay, well, cast him.
All right, cast him
Yeah, sure.
to be the 15 Inuit people we got on the movie. Just him in every role. So
We'll clone him.
Just Google in Kung Fu Hustle and look
Kung
up
Fu Hustle.
and look
Look
up
up
on
the
the
director.
IMDb page.
I hope your computer's not
the
stupid
director
German
is
still.
Stephen Chow.
Stephen Chow. What else? What else has he made?
About to find out.
Well,
Well, he looks like a happy guy.
Yeah.
Wait, he's a political advisor now.
He is?
Oh,
Yeah, political advisor of the Chinese People's Political. Oh.
Oh. That's been interesting over there. But
So, Kung Fu Hustle's been announced. 2.
Kung
Two?
Fu Hustle too.
Kung Fu Hustle 2.
really?
Oh,
Is
okay.
he directing it?
Director, producer, and screenwriter.
Okay, then.
All right.
Also, I think he was the lead actor in the movie. In the original Kung Fu Hustle, he was the director, producer, screenwriter, composer, and the act. Yep, he was the lead actor.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Look at him.
cool.
Look at him, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, it is.
That's
Yeah,
him, lead actor.
he's 57 years old.
Yeah, looks like he's 40.
Yeah. He's found the fountain of youth.
That's what it is.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I actually remember somebody mentioning this. I can't remember what YouTube channel it was, but somebody was doing a review of Dragon Ball Evolution.
Ooh.
And it was just scathing it, obviously, because it's Dragon Ball Evolution. And someone pointed out that if they were going to make a Dragon Ball movie, it should have been like Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah, that would have worked. Or Man of Steel.
Yeah. If you're going to do it like a lower budget and have like worse effects, and if you're going to try to do it more of a comedic route,
Then Kung Fu Hustle is perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
He made so many movies. Oh, wait. Speaking of Dragon Ball Evolution, he produced it.
But your producer's just a guy that's sitting there and go, oh yeah, I'll give you money for it.
I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
has done...
Producers don't really serve a huge role.
Oh, he was an actor from 1988 to 1993, and he starred in 50-some movies.
Damn.
Then he directed Flirting Scholar. He directed Love on Delivery, From Beijing with Love, Forbidden City Cop, The God of Cookery, The King of Comedy.
Not Martin Scorsese's King of Comedy.
I was getting ready to say,
Yeah.
I think, have I heard of that movie?
Shaolin Soccer.
Oh yeah, Shaolin Soccer is really funny. I actually have seen that. That's the goofiest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Kung Fu Hustle.
You would love it if you love Kung Fu Hustle.
CJ7. Journey to the West, Conquering the Demon.
Huh.
The Mermaid. Journey to the West, The Demon Strikes Back. The New King of Comedy. The Mermaid 2 and Kung Fu Hustle 2 yet to be released.
I've only seen 2 of his movies then.
Two really good ones, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, technically, if you've seen Dragon Ball Evolution.
No, he didn't direct it.
Good point.
Yeah. But I would say that I had a lot of fun during Kung Fu Hustle. If I were to give it a score, I'd give it, I don't know, 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
Maybe 7.
it'll get a 9 for me.
9.
I really enjoy this movie. It puts a smile on my face every time I watch it.
It gets a schmine out of 9.
A schmine out of 9. Schmine. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Hilarious.
Ching.
Dun-dun.
Next pick is a movie that Brian really loves. It's one of his favorite movies, Under the Skin.
That movie's interesting.
I love it. I absolutely love Under the Skin. I'll go first.
I remember what YouTube channel it was that that Dragon Ball Evolution. It was a YouTube channel called Rebel Taxi. I think you would actually enjoy this.
Yeah, you interrupted me talking about one of my favorite films ever. You go right ahead, you piece of shit.
Go ahead.
Under the Skin. I asked Jake this week, hey, have you watched Under the Skin yet? He I don't want to talk about this movie. I said, why's that? Have you watched it? And he goes, that beach scene. I'm scared. It disturbed me. Make me feel things.
Yeah, that beach scene, man. It felt so real. It's like
She hits that guy over the head of a
she just
rock.
comes over here and looks at him. He's exhausted from saving a man's life.
Yeah.
She just starts kicking around some rocks and
Yep.
reaches down, picks up the first one, weighs it up, turns
Yep.
around to him and goes thwack
Yep.
right over the head, and then starts dragging him off while his
And it
little
doesn't-
girl
it
sits over to
doesn't-
the side.
It doesn't do
crying.
that cheesy thing movies do too, where it makes the thump noise. It just
Nope, it's just a thunk. Just a thunk.
it's so disturbing. What I was going to ask though is, what was the film to you, Jacob? Let's start with you. What did you feel the film was about?
Well, the message of the movie, I think, is actually kind of cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
Humans, what makes us human is compassion.
Yeah.
And that everyone has compassion to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
And people that show no compassion for life don't fit in and will end up getting burnt or dying, as it's shown with the multiple generations of aliens that have done the same thing Scarlett Johansson has done.
Yeah, because they all fail.
Yeah.
They fail with their mission every time. They're idiots.
There's no way for something like that to conform to human life.
Yeah, even
That's the
no matter
point
how
of it.
hard they try, because they can't understand the emotions of humanity.
Yeah.
But I always felt the film was. I feel like it was about that too, but I also felt like it was. I guess this is kind of similar, but just on a different way of wording it. Is I felt like it was about we see beauty on the outside all the time. we go, oh, that's pretty or that's great. But I think it's so interesting, the Black Void area.
Yeah.
Because all these characters, they see Scarlett Johansson's beauty from the outside. They're like, wow, look at this gorgeous woman, without understanding the darkness around them, literally. And they're being sucked into this spiral of madness. I just found that interested. And they're being farmed for meat.
Yeah. It's definitely a good look at like, oh, maybe this is how animals see humans or something.
Yeah.
But even then,
Like, I saw it as like tigers or something.
even then though, besides these like mass-produced, animal meat factories, humans show a lot of compassion for animals.
Yeah.
Even like hunters. Hunters like train themselves to hit the most vital parts of like an animal to make sure it suffers the quickest death it can.
Which I will say also, it also shows how humans are so faceted in their emotions, because sure, you have all these humans with all these great emotions, like the guy that gives her a flower, things like that.
Yeah.
The guy who falls in love with her based on beauty. But at the same time, there's also them animalistic primal people, which is the
Like
one
the
we
rapists.
see. Yeah, the one we see at the film. And it really shows, like, Scarlett Johansson's character at the end of the film. She's so scared because she doesn't really understand people.
Yeah.
People are more than just like, oh, I give you a flower, I'm nice to you.
Humans are very compassionate things, but
there's no way to explain people.
But they can also be the most
Evil monsters.
like
Like Daniel off There Will Be Blood.
yeah.
Like, he's a great character that can just
Or
be a piece of shit.
Arthur Fleck off Joker.
Yeah.
Or name one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like King of Comedy, So, like, people can be like these things, but they don't have just, like, one trait or personality.
Yeah.
They're so multifaceted. And
Whereas it feels like the aliens are more hive-minded, where it's like, oh, just survive.
There is one scene in the movie that's hilarious, though.
Yeah.
It's the, I told you about this scene. It had me in tears whenever she's on the bus. And it's like, and she's like a scared animal. She has no idea what the hell anybody's saying.
She's just like looking back and forth frantically, like, I need my mom.
She's
or
like a
something.
deer in headlights.
Yeah.
That scene had me in tears. I love the opening of the film. I just love everything about it. I love the cinematography. I love the score.
The acting?
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson's incredible. I think it has a lot to say. I think it's very interesting, and I would say that's not for everybody, but it is a experimental look at a film. I think it's worth a try. Might not be your cup of tea, like Brian's. We'll get to him, but
I have much different feelings on this film than Brian does.
But I do feel like at the end of the day, it is a worthwhile film to watch, even
Definitely.
if you love it or hate it.
Definitely.
Brian, what'd you tear it apart?
I'm not gonna tear it apart. I just didn't. It just didn't gel with me the same way. Like, I'll be honest. I love that you guys found all that, and yeah, there are themes to be made in that. Like, listen, I do appreciate themes in movies, but when the movie is just the theme alone,
Yeah.
I get bored really, really easily.
You prefer more of where you so much into writing, you prefer to see like interesting characters, stuff like that, right?
Well,
Like you like
yes.
seeing like a tangible thing with personality and character to it.
Yes.
Yes.
Like just
Whereas
something
this
to
film
the
has like no personality. Everybody's
No.
just very vague. And,
What a normie, am I right, Tyler?
yeah, Jeffrey!
It's one of those movies to where like it felt like
We love art.
and this is just me.
Charles.
No, look, yeah, you're
This is just me. It felt like it stopped at its concept.
okay.
Is what it felt like.
I would say this to that. Now I understand what you're saying, and what you're saying is justifiable. What I would say though is it takes that concept and drains everything out of that concept it can get.
Right.
Yeah, that's the way I felt about the film, where every like piece of filmmaking is used to stretch that concept and get the most out of it.
I would definitely agree with you if I saw that at the end of the movie she never did try to like conform to humans and try to be human. I would completely agree with you where it's like, oh, they're just exploring this one theme where not expanding upon it or anything like that, or not trying to get all the thought process out of it, whatever. If she had just been like, oh, how about this guy, and the dude tries to rape her and then like throws fire on her, then I'd be like, well, that was sort of a boring movie.
Yeah.
Nothing really happened. She just went around murdering people and got lit on fire.
Right.
Whereas,
But
one thing I did love is like whenever I'm sorry to interrupt
Go
you.
ahead.
You reminded me of this. One thing I love in the film is early in the film you see her stand in front of a mirror and you see this like outer beauty. This she's nude in front of a mirror and you see this outer beauty. But once near the end of the film, whenever she burns, that outer beauty goes away, and all you see is a black husk of nothingness. Like she's been sucking these people in early on in the film. And it was to show her true nature, is she has no compassion inside, and that's kind of the title of the film, Under the Skin.
Yeah.
Right.
But I thought that was really clever. the movie. Ding.
Right. But there are two things in this movie, though, that I will never, ever thrash, because both of these things are amazing. Scarlett Johansson's performance, as you point out, and the score.
What about cinematography? What?
I'm not...
What?
I'm sorry.
What? That's the best part of the movie! Cinematography pretty! Movie next! What? That's one of my favorite parts of the movie. I love the way it's shot. I love how basically how creative they get whenever the people get sucked into the meat thing. Like they become like these just balls of flesh, and they get sucked into like this meat grinder.
Right.
Like
it's
the
so
balls
creative.
of flesh. It never shows that.
I think
That's one of the questions I always have.
I think the one...
I don't think it matters, but it is funny.
I think the one shot that I did that did stand out to me and that I actually did enjoy was whenever she's walking in that black void and it's just her and the guy is like following in and stripping. That is like one shot that did stick with me just because it's like just because it feels like it's just kind of just showing like I guess I couldn't tell you what it's showing, but it looks great of like this very pale woman walking into like just this black nothingness.
Yeah.
And the way it's like spaced out, so it looks like like there's something just like so grand and massive here
That we can't comprehend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did appreciate that.
So my favorite shot actually was there was a part early on where she takes the guy with the disfigured face to the sex dungeon, black hole place, whatever. And he has more to him than just this base personality. He sees people as who they are, and he starts to notice his surroundings. Like, this is odd. He don't fall for it. And she walks down. She's in a window. She sees a fly in the window. And then she starts to interpret him as that fly in the window. So she just lets him go because she sees it as a helpless creature. And then she tries to understand humanity and stuff. And I thought that set forth the path of her trying to understand humanity, but she just can't get it.
Right.
I thought that was really cool.
One thing that I always remember Brian always saying, I remember, this was way before I ever watched the movie. Brian was like, I hate that the rapist got to kill her.
Yeah.
Personally, Brian, I don't care who kills this fucking thing. I just want her dead.
She's a bitch.
I just want her dead.
Yeah, she's like murdered like how many people? She's horrible.
I don't care. Give this rapist a medal. I don't care. He murdered this thing.
Like she killed like what 3 people? Like in that meet, and that's not counting the people we said off screen, but like the people just about the film, she like murders 3 people.
Yeah.
And tries to murder this poor guy with this disfigured face and everything.
Yeah.
She's terrible. But I do find it a very fascinating film about humanity and all that. I just love it. You have anything else you want to add to it, Brian?
Not really.
Yeah. Do you like it more than Justice League?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, no, Justice League way better.
Yeah. We all agree on this, Brian.
I respect this movie. It's one of those movies. It's like Mother or Joker. I respect it more than I like it.
Yeah, okay.
If that makes a lot of sense to you, you know, like I respect the vision it had. I respect that it did something unique and very experimental, and that I'm never going to forget it. You know, and it's one of those movies I'll never watch. I never have to see it again, but I am glad I watched it.
You always remember it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is one of those. Even though it didn't stick with me, and yeah, I did find it boring at times. I did feel that it dragged on, and I didn't really find. I didn't get a lot of it. Kind of like there's just the fact that the themes didn't really
Connect with
me as much as it did with you two.
Yeah.
But I can respect it. I can respect the movie despite that, despite my personal feelings.
Yeah.
So,
let's talk about.
hey
Jacobs.
guys,
I'm letting you start.
You bet-
I'm gonna let you go.
you better.
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right, you should.
It's a great film.
Yep.
What's your pick?
There we go. Stalker. This movie. Oh, this movie. I love this movie. It's.
You think Under the Skin's weird?
I'll give you a good premise for this one, baby.
I tell you what, Jake, you were really into me watching it and being surprised by it. Do you want me to leave and you two just gush over it, and that way it won't get spoiled?
I actually kind of would. I want you to see the film.
Yeah, go.
I do.
Leave.
I'm spoiling it. I do really want you to see the film because I think you would love it.
Yeah.
We'll watch it.
Well, I don't know. I don't think you. I think it's worth watching.
Now, me personally, I don't care about spoilers. I really don't. I'm that kind of guy.
That's going to be one of our topics.
I know how much Jacob cares, though, so I will leave.
Alrighty.
We got to watch it together, Brian.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
It won't be tonight.
Oh no, I know. You'd fall asleep in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Give us 1 second, gentlemen.
Brian is exiting the arena.
Hurry!
I'm gone.
Now!
Ah!
All right, you go.
Okay, so I'll give a little preface for the story for the polite people in the audience.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, if you're wanting to watch Andrei Tarkovsky's Stalker, made in the year 1979?
1979, yeah.
Exit, because we're about to get some.
Yeah, all 6 people that watch us.
I doubt there's that many.
Yeah, probably not.
But, so, the movie, in the shortest terms I can put it, it's a post-apocalypse adventure movie.
Mm-hmm.
This guy they call Stalker. It's the word Stalker actually stands for. It's like a, what do you call it? An abbreviation.
Yeah.
It's like an abbreviation for a bunch of different things. The movie itself is about this Stalker, is what they call him. He's leaving his family behind to go back into what they call the zone, which is where a natural disaster happened. I think they say they think a meteor struck, but they're not 100% sure. And a bunch of anomalous things happen with it now.
Now, this is partially based off a true story, right?
What do you mean?
Like, I think the film is, like, inspired by true events.
Oh, it could possibly be.
Because I know most of his films, the 2 out of the 4 films I've seen, I feel like something very personal from the director. Like Ivan's childhood and Mirror.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, that's actually something that I would like to discuss if you want to. Like, do you think this movie has any personal connection to its director with his past?
This, I know.
Because you've read about this director's past, right?
Oh yeah,
It's crazy as shit.
Yeah. I mean,
it's insane.
He's being raised in the Soviet Union in the middle of war. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Personally, the only connection I can really see to the director on this one is that he loved, and this is what I'd read up. You said that you've read something to where he hates sci-fi, but
he's not like a huge sci-fi fan, but he did like Terminator, weirdly enough.
Really?
Yeah, he liked Terminator for some reason. Called it a masterpiece.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he said that Stalker is not an original movie. It is actually based off of a book by the Strugatsky brothers called A Roadside Picnic.
Yeah.
And that's what the movie's based off of. And he actually got the Strugatsky brothers to come in while it was being made to actually look over it with him to make sure he's being as close to the source as he can be. Mm-hmm. Well, while he's also making his own creative differences. And that's the only bit of actual connection to the director that I found. Otherwise, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, but unless you're wanting to look at like that meteor that crashed down in the middle of Siberia. What's it called? The Tunguska crater. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure if it actually landed.
See, I had a feeling that it was personal on the level of like a sense of hopelessness.
Oh yeah,
like how you might have felt at the time whenever he was like trying to go to film school and stuff like that. Because whenever he's trying to go to film school, they wouldn't let you see films from other countries for the longest time. Yeah, and then he finally was able to see films from other countries, and just all these things with his upbringing and his family and things like that. I could see that feeling of hopelessness. Like the movie almost, and I mentioned this to you, and I think you see my point when I said this. It's almost very Wizard of Oz. Yeah, to where you take this like bleak reality. And then this, not colorful, but there is color to the world.
Yeah, there's meaning to it.
Yeah, there's meaning to it later. You know, and I could see that with, like, the director and him feeling that way. Like, early on in his life, it was, like, nothing but bleakness. Yeah. And then later on in his life, it became more colorful.
I could definitely see that. Mm-hmm. Because that's sort of it's a cultural thing. The Eastern cultures, they have more of a bleakness to them because of the oppressive regimes that's been over them for years and years. And they're just now starting to get into democracy. Mm-hmm. Actually getting some personal freedom. Yes. So I can definitely see that, and I think that's what makes the movie feel so damn authentic. Mm-hmm. Because it feels like this is a real thing going on.
It weirdly feels like a pseudo-documentary.
Yes.
It almost reminds me of, I know you haven't watched much Harmony Korine movies, but he directed a movie, Julian Donkey Boy, which is a lot like this, to where the film is very authentic, and the characters feel like they take place in reality. Like where most films would cut when people have to take a long trip, Stalker doesn't. Like, you stay with the characters. And a lot of people would call that boring, but I think that's very just in the moment with the characters. Yeah. and you're getting.
It makes you feel like you're on the Avenger.
Yeah, it makes you really feel. Like
it makes me feel like you're really a stalker.
IGN 2020.
2020.
Yeah. But I immensely, I think this film's a masterpiece.
It definitely is.
I think this movie has inspired so many directors.
I've got
Nolan.
Oh yeah.
I think Nolan Inception. People say I think it inspired Inception on some level with the dreamlike qualities of that film.
Huh.
So
I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Because the movie, it does feel like it's a dream when you're in the place. But one thing I absolutely love about the movie, it doesn't cut corners and say, "Oh, this place could be weird and crazy and wacky." No, this place is weird.
Yeah.
Like when they first go into the place, he tells them there's no direct path because they ask him where's the door at, and he says, "Oh, it's just 200 meters that way, but we can't go straight that way. There's no straight way to get in. No one takes the same way in and the same way out." And they think he's a madman. But he gets to one part where the rider, he's like, "I'm going to just go straight." He goes, "Don't do that." The stalker says, "Don't you dare do that.
Yeah.
Don't be an idiot." And he says, "No, I'm going to do it." He goes, "Fine, do it." He gets not even halfway there, and he hears someone say, "Stop right there." And he turns around, and both of them are just staring at him like, "What? Are you going to keep going, or are you going to come back?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Which one of you all told me to come back?" And they're like, "Neither one of us said a thing." And he says that was the zone warning you, trying to tell you turn around.
Yes.
And I love that. The zone is alive.
Yeah.
And I love it. I kind of wished that he would have expanded upon this with more movies in a way, but I also think that it had a perfect ending.
I think he's a single vision guy.
Oh, definitely.
I think the ending is supposed to be more of you reflecting on the film than you wanting another one. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, it's more interesting to sit back and go, well, this film, all these things, because I've noticed this, whenever you explain too much shit in a movie, it all ends up being really stupid.
That's true.
Like Cloverfield.
Alien.
Yes. Like, whenever you try to explain everything, like, oh, where's the xenomorph come from? Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, does that matter?
They're an unknown deadly alien species.
And once you try to
terrifying.
explain it, it's a bunch of stupid shit.
That's one thing that Lovecraft always got right. There is more fear in the unknown than there is with anything
Silent Hill.
else. Yeah.
Like, I don't need, like, everything to be cookie.
Why do the nurses not have faces?
Yeah, it's like, you figure it out.
Yeah.
I have my interpretation.
Yeah.
Like, their sexual frustration of James.
Yeah.
All the nurses that walk in during his life dying.
Because they got, like, the big boobies,
but he didn't,
no face.
Yeah, no face, and he wouldn't really see them as a person.
Yeah.
You know, and that was interesting. That's the way I felt about that. That's more interesting to me than just them coming out and be like, this is what this is how it is.
Yeah.
I don't find that interesting. But Stalker, get back to that, I believe it's one of the films that just, it's weird, too. I don't think, I feel like this movie is popular amongst film fans, but I don't think a lot of people have actually watched this.
It is not popular at all in America. I know that in Russia it was very popular.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it still is, because, I don't keep up with Russian pop.
Yeah.
But, I don't think many people at all have watched it. I think more people have played the video games than they have watched the movie, and that's saying something.
I didn't know there was games of
The
this.
video games are freaking obscure. But I've also got what Stalker stands for. It stands for scavengers, trespassers, adventurers, loners, killers, explorers, and robbers.
Yeah.
And that's almost what the guy in the movie sort of comes off as.
Yeah, that's what he is.
And I asked you earlier, I'm going to ask you one more time. Do you think that he was a greedy man, or do you think he really wanted to give to people?
Greedy?
Greedy as in he's only bringing them in there for his own amusement.
Boy, that's tough.
I personally think
because
it's a bit
there's
of both.
parts. Yeah, there's parts where he isn't, but there are most certainly parts where he is.
Yeah.
Like that scene you just explained earlier. Like, I don't know. It's tough. It's a really tough question, but it's one of the films I don't have an answer for that.
Well, you can tell throughout the movie he doesn't want these people to get hurt.
No.
Like the entire way. That's why he keeps telling them, "Hey, follow me." Or follow him as close as you can. Follow his exact footsteps. I'll throw a piece of iron, and we'll see if it's safe to go. And even the only part that I started to think, okay, he might actually just be in this for himself. Went back in the meat grinder in the tunnel, where he's like, "You go first."
Yeah.
And he refuses to go first.
Yes.
He won't. He
That's
says,
why
it's
very tough.
But even at the end of the movie, whenever they're wanting to blow it up, and he's crying and begging and pleading and saying, "No, I just want to make people happy. This room is no danger to anyone."
Yeah.
Because it's not going to grant you what you wish for. It's going to grant your deepest desire. And that's why the stalker, his teacher, killed himself, was because, hey, I want my brother back.
Yeah.
He went into the room and said, I want my brother back. He's dead. I want him back. And he ended up becoming super rich. He found out, oh, I would rather be rich as to have my brother back, and he killed himself for it.
Mm-hmm. It's a very intriguing film. I would say that, funny enough, because I thought I was going off the walls and picking something weird whenever I suggested Under the Skin.
Yeah.
And then you said Stalker. I was like, you've watched that?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I told you, I damn near forgot about it. I watched it about... Well, it was back in like...
I remember you were disappointed whenever you found out I knew about it.
I was.
I thought I found a gem.
I thought
I've watched 4 of that guy's movies.
Yeah, I thought for sure I found like a diamond in the rough, because that's what the movie is.
Yeah.
It is a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought for sure, I was like, oh yeah, I found one that there's no way he's watching. It's freaking Russian. it's made in the Soviet Union. It's from 1979.
Yeah.
The movie doesn't...
I watched his first film from 1962.
Yeah.
Ivan's Childhood.
I was so disappointed.
But I would say to anybody that can tolerate subtitles...
I can't, and I love the movie. It's one of my favorite movies. Definitely my top 2 movies.
Or people that like abstract ideas. I would say this movie's not for everybody.
Speaking about that, though, before we keep going, what do you think the point of the entire movie is? Like, the theme?
I would say that, honestly, the way I felt about the movie, the experience I got out of it, it more was a reflection of that time or that era. Because around that era, we were going through, if I'm not mistaken, Cold War.
It was the height of the Cold War.
But it was the Cold War.
I think it was. No,
Yeah.
The height
1979?
Yeah, it was definitely the Cold War.
Yeah.
I don't think it was at the peak, but still, it was the Cold War.
Yeah, and I felt like the film was almost like a play on the Cold War and how, like, I don't know, the way I felt about the film is not exactly what the film presents, more of the ideas of the film, of like a dystopian, like what happens if everything just goes to shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost like a more real version of Blade Runner. If that makes any sense.
That actually is a perfect comparison.
Mm-hmm.
It is more of a Cold War era, realistic Blade Runner.
Yeah. Like, it's got these dystopian ideas, but at the same time, the film is very grounded in how it presents them.
Oh, definitely, because the stalker, who is all-knowing of the zone, can get through it and get in and out. He's broken down and crying, showing that he still is human.
Yeah, there's human aspects to these characters.
He's not a god here.
Yeah.
He is just a man.
Yeah.
And I think it's
almost like a leader trying to, like, flock his sheep.
Yeah.
And trying to lead people in the right ways, but not always having the correct answers or the right ways to do things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is a lot of times what happens in government.
Yeah.
So I guess I saw the film as that more than what the film is actually presenting from like a lore or story point, but more of the themes and the ideas that the film is trying to present. I've
thought about this movie, especially since rewatching it.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think that the point of the movie is that. Let me think of a way to put this into words.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a you can have the best of intentions and think you have the best of intentions, but find out that you're corrupt.
Yes.
I think that's the entire point of the wish granter.
Power corrupts, and power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
So, has them themes most certainly.
Yeah.
I would suggest this film to anybody that loves foreign language films and abstract ideas.
Anyone that loves
or like film
anything
lovers.
Post-apocalypse, anything character study.
You're not getting Mad Max.
No, this is not an action field.
Yeah.
There's barely any action in it whatsoever. You get every once in a while
It's a very slow burn.
Yeah, but you will think about it, and you will think about it for years. Because I would almost put this movie above Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
For me.
Okay. I'm very intrigued to hear what you have to say about Ivan's Childhood.
I can't wait to watch it.
It's less abstract and it's more grounded, but I just think the way it presents everything is so interesting, and it's very personal to its director. That's the way I felt about Ivan's Childhood.
A crazy thing about this director, and what makes me so excited to watch all of his movies, is that you say that Stalker is your third favorite by him.
Yeah.
That there blows my mind. If there's movies better than Stalker that this guy's made, by
very
God.
Excited. I love Ivan's Childhood, and I absolutely love Mirror. I think they're both better, and that's not a disservice to Stalker. I just feel like the films are just better films, in my opinion, and it has a lot to do with how personal they are to the director.
I can't wait to watch his movies. There's one I'm very interested in called Solaris. I've never watched it, but I really want to because apparently it's another greatest of all time.
That's one of your picks, ain't it? That's your pick.
That's my pick for next week. Yeah.
And my pick for next week is Ivan's Childhood. So I guess me and you were just picking movies from this director.
Hey man,
he's awesome. I'm glad that you like him. I
love him. Yeah.
I did not expect this.
Yeah, I really didn't. That movie is what made me buy the Stalker games in high school. Mm-hmm. So I mean, yeah. I love it. I love the guy. I've never known him, but I love his directing.
Yeah, it's a great film. Great film.
Sucks that the KGB had to ruin it for us.
Yep. Bastards.
Fucking commies.
Yep. But anything else you want to add?
Man, I think I've probably blown enough air.
Yeah. I love this film too. I think it's a masterpiece. I give it 11 out of 10.
Yeah, 11 out of 10 for sure.
And I don't even think it's his best movie.
There's a 12 out of 10?
But, so I guess we'll just end there. You ready to sign off?
Let's do it.
Yep. Bacon out.
Meow.